Part of the inspiration of this poem was that sense of community, in the same way that everyone came here to make this night happen. I mean, that happens almost everywhere in Maine, especially in Bethel, that's an even smaller town. And that reminded me, it was something I expected when I moved to Maine, but maybe sort of I was chasing that subconsciously. It reminded me very much of the small community that I grew up in Miami, because we're talking in the 1970s. All the exiles were sitting around going, like, what the hell do we do now? You know, we just moved, we just abandoned the country we may never be able to go back to. People would help each other. If someone got a good job, they'd try and bring somebody in. If there was someone sick, they'd bring the soup. That kind of sort of idea that has been with me a long time, in that sense that everyone in the community is a vital part of the community and an interconnected part. And not just spiritually, but also in a very practical way. I mean, you know, when you're on vacation and you just got the news that there's 88 inches of snow fell in Bethel, you call someone and they help you out. You know, there's that sense of, in a very practical way, it makes our quality of life all that much better. And I remember that from the days that I was growing up, and that's the kind of community I grew up in. So, some of that of the poem comes from that. The other part is, of course, the nature element, which I think is very prevalent in the poem, of which I also look back at Maya Angelou's poem as well, in the sense of her rock, her tree, the river, and that sort of power of nature that we know in Maine, how powerful that is every time we wake up. And it's all around us. And I was writing this at the kitchen table with the white mountains in the background, and the sun coming in and out, and the snow, and the trees, and all that. So, one day. One sun rose on us today, kindled over our shores, peeking over the Smokies, greeting the faces of the Great Lakes, spreading a simple truth across the Great Plains, then charging across the Rockies. One light, waking up rooftops, under each one a story, told by our silent gestures moving behind windows. My face, your face, millions of faces in morning's mirrors, each one yawning to life, crescendoing into our day. Pencil yellow school buses, the rhythm of traffic lights, fruit stands, apples, limes, and oranges, arrayed like rainbows, begging our praise. Silver trucks heavy with oil or paper, bricks or milk, teeming over highways alongside us, on our way to clean tables, read ledgers, or save lives, to teach geometry or ring up groceries as my mother did for 20 years, so I could write this poem for us today. All of us, as vital as the one light we move through. The same light on blackboards with lessons for the day, equations to solve, history to question, or atoms imagined. The I have a dream, we keep dreaming, or the impossible vocabulary of sorrow that won't explain the empty desks of 20 children marked absent today and forever. Many prayers, but one light, breathing color into stained glass windows, life into the faces of bronze statues, warmth onto the steps of our museums and park benches as mothers watch children slide into the day. One ground, our ground, rooting us to every stalk of corn, every head of wheat sown by sweat and hands gleaning coal or planting windmills in deserts and hilltops that keep us warm, hands digging trenches, routing pipes and cables, hands as worn as my father's, cutting sugarcane so my brother and I could have books and shoes. The dust of our farms and our deserts, cities and plains, mingled by one wind, our breath. Breathe. Hear it through the day's gorgeous din of honking cabs, buses launching down avenues, the symphony of footsteps, guitars, and screeching subways, the unexpected songbird on your clothesline. Hear squeaky playground swings, trains whistling or whispers across cafe tables. Hear the doors we open for each other all day saying, hello, shalom, buongiorno, howdy, namaste, or buenos dias, in the language my mother taught me. In every language, spoken into one wind, carrying our lives without prejudice as these words break from my lips. One sky, since the Appalachians and Sierras claimed their majesty, and the Mississippi and Colorado worked their way to the sea, thank the work of our hands, weaving steel into bridges, finishing one more report for the boss on time, stitching another wound or uniform, the first brushstroke on a portrait or the last floor on the Freedom Tower, jutting into a sky that yields to our resilience. One sky, toward which we sometimes lift our eyes, tired of work. Some days guessing at the weather of our lives, some days giving thanks for a love that loves you back. Sometimes praising a mother who knew how to give, or forgiving a father who couldn't give what you wanted. We head home, through the gloss of rain, or weight of snow, or the plum blush of dusk, but always, always home, always under one sky, our sky, and always one moon, like a silent drum tapping on every rooftop and every window of one country, all of us, facing the stars. Hope, a new constellation, waiting for us to map it, waiting for us to name it together.